There was a man who often stopped by his local fast food restaurant, not just for food, but also because he enjoyed the cheerful and playful atmosphere. One evening, after a long day, he decided to visit the place for a quick meal. The golden lights shone warmly, and the smell of fries filled the air. Families sat at tables, children laughed, and ran to the indoor playground, where bright-colored slides and tunnels twisted like a maze. The man had always wondered about those tunnels since childhood. When he had never had the chance to climb inside after finishing his meal, he looked over at the playground. The children had gone home, and the area was almost empty. The sight of the colorful tubes filled him with curiosity. He thought to himself how interesting it would be to see what it was like inside. He glanced around, seeing no one paying attention, and then stepped quietly toward the entrance of the play structure with a small smile of mischief. He climbed up into the tunnel. At first it was amusing. He crawled through the round passages, feeling like a child again. The tunnels twisted and turned, leading to slides and little windows where he could peek out. He laughed to himself at how silly it was. But he also felt a strange happiness. Yet as he crawled deeper, he realized that the space was tighter than he expected. He turned to go back, but the opening seemed farther away than he remembered. He tried to crawl backward, but his shoe stuck against the plastic wall. He twisted and pushed, but the tunnel curved in a way that made it difficult. He took a deep breath and tried again, but only managed to wedge himself deeper into the bend. Suddenly, he understood he was trapped in the playground tunnel. At first, he told himself it was fine, someone would notice soon. But as time passed, the restaurant grew quieter. Chairs were stacked, floors were cleaned, and workers began closing for the night. He heard the vacuum hum in the distance, then the lights dimmed. He wanted to call out, but he felt embarrassed. The thought of explaining why a grown man was stuck inside the playground tunnel filled him with dread. So he stayed silent, hoping maybe he could free himself without help. Hours passed, the restaurant closed completely, and silence filled the air. Only the faint buzzing of lights and the smell of fries lingered. He shifted uncomfortably. The tunnel was narrow and hard plastic pressed against his back and knees. He tried crawling forward, but his arms grew tired. He tried wiggling backward, but his clothes caught against the surface. Every effort only made him more aware of how small the tunnel was compared to his body. The night felt endless. He thought about how ridiculous his situation was. He imagined security cameras recording him wriggling like a trapped worm. He pictured the workers arriving in the morning, finding him there and laughing. He sighed deeply, but then began to laugh at himself too. It was strange, but the laughter made him feel calmer as the hours crawled by. He drifted between short naps and restless thoughts. He remembered childhood moments when he had wanted to climb into playground tunnels, but had always been too shy. Now, as an adult, he finally had the chance, only to end up stuck all night. He thought of how life had a way of turning dreams into lessons. Finally, morning light slipped through the restaurant windows. He heard doors open and workers arriving. They turned on machines and prepared for the day. He cleared his throat and finally called out, his voice echoing awkwardly through the plastic. The sound startled the staff. One worker came closer, then burst out laughing. When she saw him wedged in the tunnel, she called for help, and soon several employees gathered together. With teamwork and patience, they guided him out. One person pulled gently on his legs, while another encouraged him to push with his arms. After much effort, he finally slid free, landing on the floor with his face red from both struggle and embarrassment. The workers could not stop laughing, though they also asked if he was safe. He stood, brushed himself off, and admitted it was fine, but his pride was not. That morning, his story spread quickly, the man who got stuck in the playground tunnel overnight became a legend among the staff and the regular customers. Some teased him, calling him the Tunnel Explorer. Others simply shook their heads and smiled. He decided to accept the laughter, and even told the story himself at gatherings. His mistake became a funny tale to share, reminding everyone that sometimes curiosity leads to unforgettable adventures, even if they are embarrassing ones. In the end, he promised himself never to climb into a playground tunnel again, yet he also knew that the memory would stay with him forever. A simple trip to eat had turned into a long night of discomfort, humor, and an unusual story that would always follow him.